Thank you very much. Welcome to the final night of the Fitting In Tour, 2005-2006. Yeah, man, I love it. I love modern Ireland, man. I love my life. I fucking hate when people give out about Ireland all the time these days. Because it's like, oh, the country's gone to shit. It's like, yeah, well, how come no one's leaving anymore? I fucking love it. Love modern Ireland, man. I love it. I love traffic. I think it's fucking brilliant. I love it. You know, people always give out, you know, about the traffic. I think before there was traffic, there was no jobs. Now we have jobs and traffic. There was no traffic 10 years ago. Yeah, that's because no one had anywhere to fucking go. That's why. I fucking love traffic, man. I sit in it all day because I haven't got anywhere to be. So I just sit in traffic enjoying other people who are stressed out of their fucking... Me! I love it. Sometimes I just drive around the Red Cow roundabout all day. Laughing at people stressed out of their fucking heads. The Dublin geniuses, I call them. The people who had this brilliant idea 3 or 4 years ago, they were thinking, right, I could buy a house in Temple Oak for 450 grand. Or I could buy a house in Monasterevin, County Kildare, 4-bedroom semi-D with a garage, which you can convert. Because there is something deep within you, the Irish person, a very deep-seated need to convert all garages. I need to start a campaign. Leave your garages alone. You have to convert them. It's something deep within you. You can't, there's no way a fucking car is going in that. That's a fucking sitting room. That's what that is. I'm putting a fucking dormer over that. That's a fucking sitting room. Leave your garages alone, man, but you can't. You have to convert them. We must convert them. Garages and Protestants, you just have to. There's something deep within you to convert them. We could buy a house in Temple Low, 450, or Monasterevin, 205. Honey, doesn't take a fucking genius. Come on, we're moving to the burbs. It's only a 45-minute commute. Well, I'd say you went to visit that house on a Sunday, you fucking genius. Because I see the geniuses now every day at the Red Cow. What the fuck was I thinking? Lewis is flying past them every 5 minutes. That fucking stupid thing. All the scumbags from Tala, are they, you fucking genius, yeah? You in a rush? The geniuses of Ireland stressed out of their fucking heads, trying to change traffic lights with their mind. Fucking... Trying to move traffic with their soul. Nowhere for them to fucking move until Nays. Move! Fucking move! Like the Bull McCabe tried to fight back the Atlantic Ocean at the end of the field. Go back! Go back! Would you like to buy a Herald? Fuck off, you! No traffic before you came, you cunt! I love it. Love modern Ireland, man. I love it. Love the immigration. Hate when people complain about it. I love it. People were worried at the start. I understand the fucking black people coming over here, taking our jobs, taking our women, dancing on the dance floor straight away at 11:30. What the fuck is with that like? To wait till 1 o'clock. Don't be getting greedy. I love the immigration, man. It's great. It's good genetics. You know, there'll be less freckles here in 30 years anyway. When the Kozłowskis and the Brennans start breeding together. Kozłowski's the brand. Today's the brand. Today. Only half the price and twice as nice. Love it, man. I love the immigration. I love the Polish. fucking love them. Especially the women. I definitely find myself going into Centra a lot more these days, I'll tell you right now. I don't know what it is about those girls, man. They got this cold Eastern European sexiness. They're on the minimum wage, working a crappy job in a crappy uniform, and still they can make you feel like a piece of shit. Take the chance, you piece of shit. This is just a stepping stone for me. God, I want you. You're so unavailable. Love it, man. I love the Polish. People have turned on the Poles, and I'm surprised the builders fucking can't stand them all of a sudden. Especially plasterers. The plasterers union has officially come out against Polish workers, and I had no idea. I was down in Cork in December. I was doing shows down in the Opera House, right? One of my closest friends, he's a plasterer. I'm on the phone, and he's fucking stressed out of his head. I'm like, what's the matter with you, bro? Fucking Polish are killing me, boy. It's like, why? What's the problem? They love working. How the fuck can I compete with this, like? I came here 15 and a half years ago. I came here in fucking 1990. You can be sure I was the only fucking immigrant that year. Times were different then. There was a sign in Shannon Airport that said, wrong way. Don't be teasing us with your green card, motherfucker. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough for me at the start, man. I had to get used to the Irish ways, you know, because I was American. I was a young American man, you know, in boarding school in Wexford. And as a young man, I was into playing games, like all young men are, playing games for fun. But in America, when we play games for fun, we require 3 simple things: rules, regulations, and organization. In Ireland, that seems to mean we're not having any fun. In Ireland, there is only one rule for gameplay, and that is, should we only having a laugh? And I couldn't play by that rule. That rule drove me fucking mental. For the first 2 years of my life, I was miserable here. Every time we played fucking football, the ball's on the fucking line. What are you doing, asshole? The ball's on the fucking line. Stop. I'm not playing. This is bullshit. I'm not fucking playing. The ball's on the fucking line. It's not a line. That's a jumper, man. It's in now, isn't it? Relax, we're only having a laugh. No, you're having a laugh and I'm fucking miserable. Jesus, don't be so competitive. That's what they always said to me. Don't be so competitive. This is before Roy Keane now, when competitiveness became okay. Don't be so competitive. Look, what do you mean fucking competitive? It's a fucking competition, asshole. We're keeping score, aren't we? Keeping score. It doesn't matter if it's 10-1, it's still gonna be next goal wins. Relax. The show is called Fitting In because it was meant to be all about my experiences of doing stand-up comedy workshops in disadvantaged areas, or shitholes if you like. Now, I got in humongous trouble for saying that. After the Meteor Awards last year, I presented a Meteor Award with Samantha Mumba, actually. And the answer to your question is, no, I didn't. And the answer to your next question is, yes, I wanted to. And we presented the award, and then afterwards, the people at the media thing were like, oh, Samantha and Des, will you go up and do a press conference? Samantha will go first, and then you. And I was like, a press conference? I get uncomfortable when asked to do press conferences because I'm like, nobody has anything to ask me. I got uncomfortable and insecure, and when I got uncomfortable and insecure, I have a terrible personality flaw of overcompensating for my personality, which is a huge mistake because my personality is the thing that has got me to this spot, and when I overcompensate for it, it turns me into an obnoxious fuck. So I'm really nervous going into the press conference, and the first journalist says, Des, what's your next project? And I go, well, I'm doing stand-up comedy workshops in disadvantaged areas or shitholes. And all the journalists start laughing, and I think, look at me, the cynical journalists are laughing at me. I'm amazing. Look at my penis rise. And I got carried away, and I said, the first one is Ballymun, and they laughed again, and I thought, oh my God, I'm amazing. And the journalist thought, oh my God, Des Bishop has just called Ballymun a shithole. And a week later, a full-page article in the News of the World, Bishop in hot water for calling Ballymun a shithole. Accompanied by a picture of me in a tuxedo like this. Big problem. The last thing you want to do is piss off an entire corporation area. So under my picture was the picture of 4 people from Ballymun whom the News of the World had gone out to interview about what they thought about me calling their home a fucking shithole. And one of the pictures had a guy like this. And the quote under his head said, "There's the fucking airport. He knows what he can fucking do." In other words, fuck off back to where you came from, you American prick. So I was freaked because I got a lot of friends from Ballymun. And one of them rings me straight away. And wouldn't you know, the biggest one I know rings me straight away, and he's got red hair. The last thing you want to do is piss off a big red-headed motherfucker from Ballymun. A big, angry, fender-bald motherfucker from Ballymun. That's the last thing you want to do. And he calls me up, and I didn't even look at the number. I just said, hello, and all of a sudden, hello, Des. It's Mark. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna fucking die. And he said, don't worry, it is a fucking shithole. So thank God I got away with that. And that's where we started, Ballymun, which was a great place to start because I can fit in there. That's why I called the show Fitting In. I mean, people would know I'm not from there, but I could still go there and do my part, wear the fucking tracksuit, the runners, put on the hat, do the fucking walk. And if anyone tries to intimidate me, I can give it a bit of the old, whoa, 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 whoa. I can do that, I can fit in. And that's the great thing about my life here, and the horrible thing about the fact that I would love to go back to New York and do this project back in New York. And as much as I would love to go to the South Bronx and go to Harlem, and as much as I could try to fit in and give it my best, what the fuck, nigga, what the fuck, bitch? The fuck, nigga, what? As much as I can do that, it still doesn't change the fact that I'm white. And I'm not gonna fit in. Get the fuck out of here, you white ass motherfucker. Go back to whatever Michael Flatley motherfucking country you been coming from. Before I dance all over your ass. I'll tell you all about Ballymun at the end. We finished in Ballymun and we had a 4 or 5 month break waiting for RT to greenlight the series because they're so prompt and efficient. And after the 4 or 5 months, we went to Cork, to Knocknaheeny in Cork, which is definitely a place that I can fit in, the north side of Cork. I lived there for 4 years. I lived in the Glen in Cork for 2.5 years, which many would say is actually worse than Knocknaheeny. I made the mistake of saying to the people in Knocknaheeny, the Glen is worse. It's not fucking worse, we're fucking worse! Because they're like competitive about their fucked upness, you know? Well, fucking mad up here, fuck that, we're madder than him! If you don't know where Knocknaheeny is, it's it's one of those types of estates. It's on the outskirts, literally on the edge of Cork. Beyond Knocknaheeny, there is no more Cork City. There's just fields, and then deep in the valley, in the distance, on a clear day, you can see Blarney. So, as the crow flies, it's the way to Blarney. It's not the route that the American tourists take to Blarney, you can be sure. Is this the way to Blarney? It is, yeah. There's a toll, though. I didn't know there was a toll to Blarney. There is no. And if you don't want to pay it, you have to pay to fucking leave as well. You're fucked. Yeah, man. But I lived in the Glen for 2.5 years, you know. So I knew the crack. I lived in a corporation flat in the Glen for £9 a week. Yeah, that was some good rent. I didn't deserve it. I didn't deserve to be in a corporation house. It was a bit of a scam I was doing with my friend. He got the flat. He lived with his girlfriend. I lived in the flat. So that's how I learned to fit into these types of communities. That's where I learned to do Irish accents, because when you're an American and you're living in the Glen, and one of the boys comes up to you and he's like, who the fuck are you? The last thing you want to be like is, oh, nothing, buddy, I'm just going to the store. You want something? Well, you need some milk or some butter? You guys got great butter here. You want some butter? You quickly learn how to fit in, I'll tell you right now. You know, I used to have to pay my rent down in City Hall. I had to pay my corporation rent down in City Hall, my £9 a week. Middle-class American students with school bags on their back don't exactly look like the type of people who should be paying their £9 corporation rent. So the last thing I want to do is go in and be like, there's your rent. Thanks very much to the government and the taxpayer. Thank you very much. So I'd go in and I'd try to fit in as much as I could. I'd slap the 9 pounds on the desk and I'd be like, there, fucking take it. Raping me. How am I supposed to survive? Shocking. Some days I get really paranoid, man. Like, they're fucking onto me. I know they're onto me. I think everybody was looking at me, so I'd grab some little kid off the street to really fit in, and he'd be kind of trying to get away from me, and I'd be smacking him around the place. He'd be like, you're not even my fucking father. I'd be like, that fucking hurts, mate. All the single mothers looking on my identification. I know, it's stressful, isn't it? At least you're around. Yeah, man. And the people from Ballymum would know this. Living in a corporation flat, that's how I realized I was Irish. Living in a corporation flat, because the corporation in certain parts of Ireland don't trust the poor people to control their own heating. They decide to control it from a central location. That's the corporation. So I was living in the Glen, and the 9 pounds a week includes your heat. So from November to April, the corporation deems it cold enough outside that they have to have the heating on 24 hours a day. In a 1-bedroom flat in the Glen with 8-foot ceilings, it gets so unbelievably hot that you shrivel up like a reptile, and when you wake up in the morning, you can't even open your mouth. It's like glued shut, like you're in the funeral home. You go, and it gets so unbelievably hot that it's just not humanly possible to deal with it. But would I turn off those rads? No way. They're fucking paying for it. I ain't fucking using it. That's how I knew I'd become Irish. I'm fucking using everything. They'll fucking give it to me. Fuck them. I'm giving the satisfaction. My friends would come over and they'd be like, turn off them rads. I'd be like, no fucking way, open the window. So I could definitely fit into Knocknaheeny. 27% unemployment in Knocknaheeny. That's the harsh reality that we live with. In certain areas of our country, there is 27%. That is over 5 times the national average. 27% unemployment. That means that 27% of the people of Knocknaheeny sign on the dole. And 5% of those people actually don't work. Now here's the thing about this fact. I gotta do a gig, as I said, in front of 220 people from Knocknaheeny and St. Vincent's Hurling and GAA Club. And I'm a little bit worried about this bit of material about the 5% because it's kind of a little bit critical of the society. And I don't want them to freak out. I don't want 2 people to stand up at the back being like, hold on a fucking minute there, nobody. You all have to put negative representations of us on fucking LTE. I know they wouldn't say negative representations, but the point is, I didn't want them to be freaked out that I was there to exploit them. Because that wasn't. It was a positive project. But I said, fuck it. It's something I've noticed, people signing and working. So I said, I'd make my little joke and take the risk. So I said, in front of 220 of them, 5% of those people actually don't work. And the whole audience went, way! Fucking proud of it, babe! Fuck them, they owe us! In fact, Knocknaheeny is the only place in Ireland where you can queue up for your dole outside the post office on a Monday with paint and plaster all over your clothes, with your own contracting van outside the door, with your name on it and everything, with one of your employees in the van. Meep, meep, hurry up, I want to go price that fucking job. Quick, get the money before the fucking Polish get there first. Get the lunch money, man. That's the culture there, it's amazing. I went for a drink one day in the famous Flying Bottle pub in Knocknaheeny, famous pub in Cork, one of those crazy pubs out in the suburbs that has like no windows, 12:30 in the day, 12:30 at night, same buzz, pumping and rocking all day. And I went into the pub for a drink and I was just about to pay and this guy stopped me and he said, no, boy, I'll get that, you're walking. So we left Knocknaheeny and we went up to South Hill in Limerick. And South Hill is an interesting place because it's a dangerous area in a dangerous area. Because you get out of Ballymun, you in Santry. You get out of Knocknaheeny, you in Sundays Well. You get out of South Hill, you're still in Limerick. You can run, but you can't hide. So we were living in O'Malley Park, which is the South Hill of South Hill. The real deal Holyfield. And I have to say, it was tough. You know, O'Malley Park was tough because we'd lived in Ballymun and Knocknaheeny, and like before we arrived, we'd get all these letters from the community groups saying like, oh, great community spirit. If you get involved in the community, they'll love you. You know, the media exploit us, but really it's a positive place, and you know, don't believe the hype and all this positive shit. And I swear to God, because this is going to be on TV, so I can't lie. A week before we arrived in O'Malley Park, the O'Malley Park Residents Association sent us a letter, and that letter said, "Are you sure this is a good idea? We cannot guarantee your safety. Why don't you just live in the city center and visit like all the other normal workshop people?" You know, it's the real deal, man. And we got to O'Malley Park and we were greeted by the welcoming committee, which, like all these estates, is made up of children. And in all these estates, there are many, many children surrounded by many women in pajamas. That's why there's so many kids in these estates, because the women are dressed to make them. It's like, well, I'm dressed for bed, let's go back and make another one. Don't even have to make an effort. Slide back. But the kids in O'Malley Park, man, they were hardcore. Kids in Knocknaheeny and Ballymun, they were kind of like inquisitive. You know, they'd be like, who are you? How are you? The kids in O'Malley Park, they seem to have some sort of military training. You know, you drive in with your foreign reg car, meaning a reg they don't recognize. They'd be like, the minute I set foot out of the car, one of them came up. Fuck you! It was a fuck you and run, man. But you gotta understand that in O'Malley Park, things mean different things. And in O'Malley Park, what fuck you really means is, hey man, welcome to South Hill, everything's gonna be all right. And I heard some great insults off of those kids in South Hill. Some of the best I've ever heard in my life. One day, all the kids were out playing with the toy guns, you know, practicing, training for the future. All the absent fathers looking on with pride. I think that's my boy. So I decided to get involved. I grabbed one of the guns. I was like, all right, kids, everybody, on the ground, now, on the ground. None of them moved an inch. And one of the kids turns around and goes, I'll shove that up the highest part of your hood. 10 years of age, man. But of course, what that really means is, hey man, can you give me a hug? I'm feeling quite lonely. Great time, man. But here's the thing. Every town in Ireland has that estate. That place that everyone likes to look at and go, oh, that's the Scanger estate. We're better than them. We are better than them. We use them to feel better about ourselves. We've all been responsible for that stigmatization, and that stigmatization hurts the self-esteem of individuals who come from that area, whether you like it or not. And it's a difficult thing to live with when you go into town and somebody meets you and they ask where you're from, and you say, I'm from that place, and they go, ooh, you sound quite